my rule is you should cover salary in the first conversation. So can you give me the range for this job? The recruiter knows the range for the job. If they've got it posted, they know the range for the job because they've done an intake meeting. They may be hesitant to tell you, but a recruiter should not go out and start recruiting for a job until they know until they've done an intake meeting with a hiring manager, understand why the last person is leaving or didn't do well in the job or left, and they should know the salary range. There are situations where it's still in comp and comp is trying to figure it out because they're trying to rescale it or get more money added to the base. But you should have a conversation like, do you have any questions for me? Yes. Can you tell me the range for this job? It's really important because we're still looking at organizations that will interview you 6 and 7 times. If I have to ask off of work, if I have to do all of these things 6 or 7 times, my boss is already starting to get suspicious. I can't do it for $30,000 less.
No. Well, that's why I've seen a lot of places that are starting to we expect whoever we hire will be in this range between here and here, which personally I think is great. Like, is this going to be worth, like you said, taking time off of work and is this going to be worth the time, effort, and energy and kind of sneaking around to kind of, like I said, take time off to go interview? Is it going to be worth it? Because I know, like, for that salary, yeah, it's going to be worth it versus,
right.
Yeah, I'm not even going to waste my time because of it or have to have an awkward conversation 6 steps into the process, and then I guess a follow-up would be, do you think employers' mindset has changed a little bit about, well, if somebody comes in and asks about salary and benefits right off the bat, they're probably not the people that we want. Do you think that mindset has changed a little bit?
I think we've got to be careful. Our corporate arena is still run by people who had that mindset. And this younger generation is not afraid to ask you how much the job pays. And these 30-year-olds are directors now. They're directors. I know 30-year-olds that are VPs now, and they do things differently. So there are people out there who still judge that, but we've got to stop that practice, right? It's only fair to know, what would you like to pay me if I did this job? It doesn't mean that I'm not going to look at the entire package. It doesn't mean that I might not take a pay cut. I've taken pay cuts to take jobs before. I've taken pay cuts because I knew the leader. I've taken pay cuts because I'm OG work from home. So the elementary school is a mile this way and the middle school is a mile this way. And I knew that I had runway within that organization. And I could also be there for lunch some days, not all days, because I do like my desk, but it is about the entire package. And we cannot make judgments based on 2 conversations. We have to get to know people.
Nice. So hopefully, knock on wood, things have changed a little bit in the corporate arena about that negative mindset on people wanting to know up front. Because I'm thinking the same thing, whether you're in your 20s or in your 50s, who wants to waste their time applying for 1,000 different jobs when you have no idea what their pay is? And
Right. And Colorado set the stage for us and said that you've got to have the salary in every single job description. And we've seen other states come behind and start to set those same rules. So some organizations have just adopted it as an entire organization for all their job descriptions, and others are still picking and choosing where they're going to tell you how much they're going to pay you. But in the interview process, it's a fair question.
Well, I think that's a good one for leaders, especially ones that aren't in talent positions, that are leaders that are going to be the hiring managers, whether that's I'm hiring a C-suite or I'm hiring a director or I'm hiring a frontline. I think just kind of knowing that and getting rid of that negative mindset from the past is probably not the worst thing in the world.
The worst thing in the world. And when you get a raise, you want to know how much it is, right? Right. So we're going to give you a raise. They have to tell you that. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. And I think with that, let's go ahead and wrap up this segment, and we'll get to the last 2 questions in our final segment and maybe follow up on a couple of things that you mentioned before. But with that, we'll come to the end of our segment number 2 for Conversations on Leadership with Dr. Dave, and we will see you all in just a moment.